whatever you do, don't let it fall into the wrong hands.
As you all stand here quietly resting with just countless sprays of scorched blood just completely coating the walls, you feel slightly restful, and you notice that your fiery companion is just sort of munching on the recently cooked meal and looking contentedly around, just almost hypnotized by his experience. And then distantly, somewhat faintly beyond the south wall, you hear the thum, thum of the power hammer, and you sort of contemplate your options. I think you just completed a short rest, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yes.
And
What
made
would
some
you like
sweet
to do?
chicken wings.
Exactly. That was so compelling that your fiery boy companion has renounced his
He's still a
loyalties.
fiery boy
I was so pleased with that.
Yeah,
That
was
roll,
great.
that result. At
It was
that
a 29,
moment.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right, what would you like to accomplish?
So I'll jump up while everyone else is polishing off the chicken wings, because I ate quite a bit while I was cooking, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just be like, all right, guys, I'm feeling good. How about you?
I'm still like slurping down the bones, like getting all the dregs of chicken that I can.
Well. I literally escaped the cell I was in for 390 days. Oh, barely 45 minutes ago.
Sounds like you're all doing pretty great. Hey, Carl, you want to kill some more of these guys?
There is a door in here we haven't been through, by the way.
Akal says he's sort of out of breath even after the short rest, and he says, yes, I feel as though we're close. I think the vault is nearby, but stories conflict about which direction it is. I'm ready for more cleansing, shall we say.
Is he all right for health at this point?
Yes, he short rested and recovered his health.
And then I just do some of the hand signals to Guy Fiery. Like, hey dude, you ready to rock?
He turns to you and sort of like moves his hands in an approximation of your gesture and seems to be like hefting his scimitar in compliance, let's say.
Great. I'm gonna just be like, hey dudes, watch this. I stand next to him and like air guitar on my rapier and see if he does it with the scimitar.
Okay. He actually let's have you make a performance check to see how convincing it is.
Okay.
Or how didactic it is.
This is my button.
Oh wow. Okay. So he takes out his scimitar with one hand and sort of like dangles it there for a sec while watching you, and then like flops his hand back and forth in front of it to try to like approximate what you're doing, and just looks a little confused. But it seems to be attempting to do it.
Gnarly, man.
So excited. Look at this guy! He's a natural!
He's confused, but he's got the spirit.
Alright. Any other business?
Just polishing off these chicken wings.
Alright, let's get in position around this door-looking thing. I point to the door.
Nice. You get
Alright,
in position.
just a sec. There's some dregs still. There's some sauce down here.
I'm gonna go and like stand back to the wall with like my rapier raised above my head and like gesture at it with my face. Like as if I'm ready to just slam it down if we open this door and rush through. Oh,
Cool.
like commando style.
What do the rest of you do?
I really want to just like wander up and open the door, but that seems like
I can do something better. I'm just going to
Too
charge
funny.
through the door.
He's off.
I'm going to roll through the door.
Okay.
Philippe has got into position, has crouched on the anvil, Russian style, and has got his dagger out.
I just
Okay.
hope that this door goes outwards rather than inwards.
Okay, so you're
Bounce
not
immediately
gonna...
off.
it does now.
Caesar isn't opening the door, he's attempting to bust it down by
Where's
roly-polying
my
Like a
Yeah, 2 right. It's
Okay,
Are you
so
trying
give
to
me-
bust it or just open it by
Give
rolling
me-
through it?
No, I'm rolling through it.
Give me an athletics check because you're essentially saying like what the Indiana Jones boulder does in the Temple of Doom is what you're attempting to do.
To this door. Here we go.
Okay, with a 14, I will say it's a wooden door. Yeah, you manage to like thud into it, and your momentum is almost completely stopped by the door. But then you hear like a creaking and a cracking, and then your weight just pushes the door down rather than dramatically bursting through it. And what
I
you
love it, like you're sat in front of this door like a baby as it slowly swings open in front of you.
Ta-da!
and what you see is an empty corridor.
And as soon as it's empty, I combat roll over to here and like look ahead, and then combat roll 1 step forward.
Nice.
I'm just like, I unlocked that earlier, right? You were aware of that.
What? Combat roll? Oh. The door.
Unlocking the ability combat roll. Yeah, we all did, Eddie. Come on.
no, I mean the door. Yeah. I gave that door an ocular pack down earlier.
Okay.
I knew it was safe.
So I'm like looking along the length of my sword, scanning to left and right, and then I'm like, okay, guys, it's clear. Go, go, go.
Okay, sweet. You see and hear Jax give you that signal.
I spend half of my movement points to stop being prone on the floor like a baby.
Nice. Cool. All right, so you wander through, presumably. What you
Yeah,
see,
I'm exploring.
Jax,
I
is
wander through so cash.
you see a normal-looking corridor, except for on the left-hand side about here, where I just pinged.
Yep.
You see like a metal lever that seems to be in the up position. And then you see a bridge and some lava. And on the far end of that bridge, you see distantly like a door.
Okay. Dude, there's a stick here.
Alright, let's have a look.
Should I pull it?
yeah,
Hold off. Can I have a quick look at it? See, no.
Wait.
Have a guess at what mechanism it is.
If I know
Okay.
anything about
Actually,
I'll
sticks, the fastest way to find out what they do is to pull them.
I'll say, give me an intelligence check, Caesar.
that's what I'm the best at.
Really? That seems surprising. Oh, wow. With an 18.
Oh my god. See?
Yeah, see through.
With an 18,
I thought you was being sarcastic.
you're pretty familiar with this facility, and you recall from only half paying attention during like dwarven lessons that this is the lever that retracts the bridge in front of you and then extends it again.
Is the bridge extended already?
It's currently extended, yeah.
Guys, we don't need this yet. Let's keep going.
Don't need
It controls
this
the
yet.
bridge. This is a bridge lever. Have you never seen a bridge lever before?
Gosh.
All right.
No.
Okay,
this is what
sounds
one
good
looks
enough
like.
for me.
Yeah. So what does it do?
It levers
this
the
point-
bridge.
I've
It levers
stepped
the
onto
bridge.
the bridge and I just turn back and I'm just like,
I'm like reaching up for the lever, like real dramatic slow-mo style.
I start running.
Cool. All right, you're running. He's dramatically
Gonna pull it up.
slow-moing.
I mean, I'm just walking onto the bridge.
I leap for the end and roll across the gap. The not gap, hopefully.
Okay, cool. You land on the other side. You see a small chamber, and then you see a huge metal door with all these like elaborately carved symbols and complicated like runes on it, and it looks really complicated. And what languages do you speak?
I think just common.
Okay, cool. In that case, you see two suits of dwarven half-plate armor standing on either side of what appears to
Oh,
be
there is a halfling language as well. Yes, sir.
an adamantine-banded iron door. These suits of armor were beautiful once, but now they're scarred by weapons, scorched by fire, you assume, and smeared with filth, maybe even feces. The door has 2 locks, or what you presume to be locks, one above the other. And that is what you see.
Okay.
I turn to Fleeb, who is presumably near me still at the lever, and I'm like, look at that fat guy run.
On me. Okay.
Yes.
Actually, are you fat? If you're not fat, I'll just say,
I'm
hey, look
definitely
at.
chubby. I'm definitely
Okay.
chubby.
Yeah, look at
I'm
the
chubby
tubster
but
run.
nimble.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Spry.
Here, look at the tubster run. And then I just like don't pull the lever and walk over the bridge.
Cool.
Okay.
Oops.
I'm gonna
Oh god.
be like, hey, Cal, you were talking about a vault. Is this a vault?
Akal goes up to the door and he looks at it and he says, yes, this is definitely the vault. And he starts to like touch his hands over the door, like tracing the runes with his fingers. And he says, okay, this top lock seems to be the dwarven word for beginnings. And then he looks at the lower lock and it seems like, he says, it seems like there was a frame here, some sort of stylized, maybe made of gold frame. It seems to say endings, but it looks like the gold has been scraped away. He seems almost like sad as he hears that, like someone's soul has been scraped away. And he seems to like, he needs to make a check. Where is his sheet?
Ooh, can I give him? Well, no, I'll worry about it after it happens.
Okay, so he's gonna make an intelligence check. What did he roll? With an 11. Okay. He says, I can read these symbols, but I don't know. It feels like it's missing something. I mean, beginnings and endings seems pretty self-explanatory, but I don't think we have everything we need. This mechanism at the bottom here, yeah, there's something that goes into these reliefs, like a tool of some kind.
It's a lock, right?
What's his name? Akal says to you, well, there are 2 locks, yes.
All right, but it's 2 locks, right?
Yes, very much so.
All right, step aside, boys. I assume that my thieves' tools are not going to work on these logs because I assume this is a puzzle. But I'm still going to go and make a big show of
Put
using my
hand-
thieves' tools on the locks.
as Scramble like walks up to the bat, I just put my hand on Carl's shoulder and was like, "You wanted a tool? Here's your tool."
So
I give you like a really weird thumbs up.
what's the
and like a double wink at you.
what's the marching order? Like, what's the order everyone's standing in?
I haven't moved off the bridge, which is very precarious.
Okay.
Let's assume Scrammle's now by the door.
Oh yeah,
right?
I've now
Okay.
moved up to the door to.
I guess I'm standing in here. Carl's presumably standing in the room.
I thought I assumed they were all looking at it.
Cool.
And we just stood around the door looking.
There isn't enough squares though, is there? Really?
I mean, we can be huddled up looking at it.
There's a
It's just
side
not
corridor over here.
What's in that, by the way? Just
It is
beneath.
an empty room, like an alcove, whose purpose you don't understand.
It
poop
contains our fire lizard thing. That is its purpose. It
It's a
is for the
pooping
fire
chamber.
lizard to be present.
It's a pooping room.
You see him sort of just like picking his teeth with the chicken bone and just idly sort of doing nothing.
It has teeth. Fucking weird.
So you're attempting to pick the lock, Scramble?
Yes, I am.
Okay, cool. Go for it. Make a thieves' tools check.
Well, I gotta roll my thieves' tools. Oh, there they are.
Oh, also, which lock are you trying to pick?
I'll start with the top one, the beginning.
Okay.
I think
I just had this flash of inspiration and realised can I look the other way across the bridge
Okay.
Make sure nothing's coming
to where
behind
the
us.
lever is,
Okay, sure. Go for it.
just to make sure that there isn't anybody.
Cool.
Ah, you see
approaching
Scramble.
it.
Haha.
You're there's no one there at the moment, Professor.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I got 24 on my first attempt at.
Okay, so you take out your tools and you manage to fashion them into the shape of the weird relief pattern of the top lock. And after about 5 minutes of concerted effort, you see it sort of pop open, and this huge, like, metal hinge seems to have been embedded in the face of the door. It swings open, and nothing else happens.
Piece of piss. That's one down. And I I assume that that's done, and I get to work on the second one.
Okay, go for it.
I'll roll that again. There. Another 24. Nothing if not consistent.
Wow, okay. With the 24, you manage to reshape the tools from your upper lock attempt and quickly bend them into a new pattern. And then you place them inside the lower lock that seems a little bit trickier than the earlier one. And then it clicks open and swings apart. And you see the door seems to be no longer secured.
Cool.
What happens now?
Push the door open, or whatever, however the door opens.
Okay, you push the door open. Inside,
Piece of
you
piss, boys.
see, okay, what you see is a stockpile of the wealth of this forge. What appears to be thousands of iron and adamantine ingots, neatly stacked and crated around the room. And each ingot must be worth a lot. You don't really understand the maths involved, but there's a lot. You're overwhelmed, and then you see sort of Akal push past you, and he sort of comes into the room and falls to his knees in front of the ingots, and he says, "Finally." And he just seems to be having like a little moment on the ground. What do you guys do?
I'm gonna ask, hey Caesar, there was some dwarven writing. Oh no, he already told us. I'm just gonna sing a little song. It's like, and so the lock came open, beginnings and endings. We solved the mystery puzzle, and Akal's heart was mending.
You see Akal reach up, and he takes this gauntlet that appears to be made from gold off of one of the shelves, and he puts it on, and he says, finally I am promoted. And you get the sense that it's part of some sort of hierarchy within the dwarves, but he seems very pleased with himself. Okay.
Hey,
Go on.
I was gonna say, hey Jex, you still got Scroungemore's bag? How much can that fit in it?
I don't know. I've not put stuff in it.
Huh. Interesting. But you still got it, right?
Yeah. Hey, Akal, mind if I take a look around?
Yes, absolutely. There is a law in my culture that says that if we receive help from anyone other than dwarves in retaking a site such as this, each of them are entitled to 20 ingots of their choosing. So feel free to look around and take whatever you want within those parameters. And you see him suddenly become more formal after wearing this golden gauntlet.
Would Caesar know the importance of that gauntlet?
Yes, I would say absolutely. It's basically the gauntlet that is worn as the sign of the sort of the boss of the forge, like the overseer who is in charge of everyone else.
Cool.
I'm like, dude, you don't have to, well, I'll take a look.
Okay, what are you looking
I'm
for?
already like looking at all the bars. Like,
Okay, you're having a look around. Are you looking for anything in particular?
the shiniest.
Is this all is it just metal ingots in here, not items?
Yeah, there seems to be predominantly ingots. You don't see anything that is made into something aside from the gauntlet. Like, everything seems to be raw material, but it's a shit ton of it.
I'm gonna sidle up to Caesar. Hey, Caesar. You got any idea which of these are the most valuable?
You cut out halfway through.
Oh, sorry. I'm whispering to you. Do you have any idea which of these are the most valuable?
What, the ingots?
Yeah.
Would I? I
Yeah.
presume it's the adamantium, but
You would know, and it is the adamantine ingots, definitely.
yeah, it's the adamantium.
Each
I would describe it, but are they like the greeny silver ones, or
Yeah, they're a slightly
Alcohol.
slightly deeper color of silver, rather than like a metallic shininess. They're a little bit like darker and richer in color, and each adamantine ingot is worth 10 gold pieces.
I
Okay.
clap him
so
on the
it's not
shoulder
like-
like,
yeah.
cheers, man, and I take 20 of those.
Are there gold ingots in here?
Let me just double check.
I'm just going to take a look around at everything and just look at all the different colors.
Cool. Make an investigation check. I'll tell you afterwards.
Okay. Boop, boop, boop. Here's my button. Oh, nat 20.
That's 20, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you notice that the only thing made of gold is the gauntlet. There doesn't appear to be any gold ingots. There are thousands of iron and adamantine ingots stacked in crates, and you notice that is the entirety. You also notice that the gauntlet itself must be worth 2,500 gold pieces.
Okay. But that's cool. I was going to be like, hey, Akal, you know he said we'd have time to work some stuff later?
Yes,
I don't know if I need just a bunch of ingots. So what about, say, I take the ingots and then I trade you back some to help me make it into stuff?
Make a persuasion check with advantage. I mean, he pretty much said he would anyway, but let's see how generous he is.
10.
He says, "Why, yes, of course. I agreed to that before. What is it that you wanted me to make? It all takes time."
So yeah, I was wondering if we could make some, well, I guess a new gear, because my weapons are kind of ones that, like, my weapons and armor are ones that I managed to scrounge up and take with me to go on in the first place, so.
Absolutely.
Oh, dude, I'm thinking like, a shoulder pad that would be, like maybe have a cool picture on it or something. Like a rapier with a twisty handle.
Absolutely. I can make.
I'm just like coming up with ideas with this guy and give him a chance to work his dwarven creativity.
I can make whatever you would like. I mean, they're going to be quite heavy, though. Are you capable of holding things that are medium heavy or very heavy?
I guess not. There. I mean, so it's a half plate that I would be looking for as
Okay.
armor.
He can make that for you out of adamantine, and it would require... Okay, so it doesn't have a strength requirement, but you'd be at a disadvantage on stealth. You'd have some pretty sweet AC going on, and he says, yeah, absolutely. I can make that for you, and I can inscribe... What was it that you wanted carved onto it?
Oh, I don't... How about the story of this place? We got it here. We could have you and these guys all going through here. We could have Guy Fiery on it. The fall and rise of the forge.
You see him like stand with his sort of fists on his hips in a Superman pose with his new gauntlet, and he says, yes, it shall be done. I shall make whatever you require. Please submit your requests. And then I shall be in the power hammer room. And he like storms past you very like grandiose all of a sudden.
Wow.
So mechanically, you can just like, rather than having 7 individual conversations with a cult, just tell me what it is and I'll tell you how long it'll take.
Caesar would like a new copy of his fold-out stepladder, which melted earlier.
What did we model those stats after?
It was a spear.
Okay. That's
Ooh.
interesting. I mean, that is quite obscure. Because I don't think you're going to be getting... Oh, maybe you would get the benefit out of it. I'm just going to have to delve a little bit deeper here.
Maybe like a metal stool instead. Like it doesn't have any retractable or folding components. It's just a stool.
Okay.
But then at
sweet.
that point, it becomes yeah.
Okay, sweet. I'll say there is an adamantine spear that you could benefit from. Well, I mean, it takes roughly He's going to make them in parallel, and I'll say it'll take a week for these things to be finished.
Cool.
Cool. But this adamantine spear thing, which will be the stats for your stepladder, is pretty cool. I'm going to see if I can send it to you. What's your character's name again?
Caesar.
Okay.
I'm still rolling this bear.
Sweet. There you go. It should be in the chat.
Oh.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty sweet. Sweet. So who's next? Jax wanted half plate, right?
Yeah, half plate. Oh,
Cool.
and one if he could. I'm just going to show him Jalula and what as well, and just the strings, and like a couple of the strings are metal,
Mm-hmm.
and just wonder, what do you think about strings? Think you can weave that?
Yes, I mean it's possible. An adamantine string would be stronger, maybe slightly heavier. I mean, it wouldn't have any acoustic properties that were any better, but it would last a lot longer before you had to change strings. Is that something you want?
It would be really cool to have one of those, and then have each of the strings tell a different story.
Okay. He says, yes, I can do that. So when he finishes making the adamantine half plate, the stats of which I think you can get from the compendium pretty easily.
Yeah, just half plate, right?
Yeah, but adamantine half plate specifically.
Ooh. Fancy.
Let me know if it doesn't show up. And you see that inscribed along the chest of the half plate is sort of a series of pictograms, sort of Egyptian hieroglyphic style, that depict you guys storming the forge, conquering the fire newts, and then bursting open the vault door. But it sort of portrays Akal in a little bit more of a grandiose role than he actually had. So he basically kicks down the vault door rather than scramble opening it with a lockpick.
Okay.
And you see on the strings, there's tiny little dwarven symbols that basically just, he explains to you that each dwarven symbol says the name of that note for that string. So it's like G, E, B, F, A, G, or whatever the strings are. And it's just like a nice little affectation. He says that there wasn't really much room to get a lot of story onto a string. I mean, it's a pretty small canvas. Cool.
This is, yeah, just knowing the story makes it awesome.
Yeah. Also, the adamantine spear / stepladder, every time you hit an object, it's a critical hit. So if you wanted to use
I
the
saw that. That's why you sent it to me. I was like,
If you wanted to,
Oh,
like,
so you auto crit against objects.
yeah, like a door or a boulder or something like that.
that could have come in useful earlier.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
could have like had it underneath my arms and like used it as a battering ram or something.
Yeah, or you jump off it for the initial roll.
Yeah.
Sweet. Who else is making some sort of request?
I don't really know if there's anything that I actually care for.
Are you proficient in medium or heavy armor?
Nope.
Then that
Just
would be
light.
tricky.
Use daggers or anything?
Yeah, but I've got daggers and stuff, and
Be
I
a
don't
better
think
dagger though.
I don't think there's any upgrades without it going magical to what I've got at the moment.
Basically, adamantine is an ultra hard metal, and in addition to being useful for armor, it's also used for weapons. Melee weapons and ammunition made or coated with it are unusually effective when used to break objects, as you've seen in the spear. So you could create a weapon that had sort of similar properties to the spear, but within the weapon category that you were asking for.
You use arrows, right? Can't you have adamantium tipped arrows? Is that a thing?
Yeah, you totally could.
That might be a shout.
Yeah,
Otherwise, I'm looking for-
shatter ammo.
Also,
Because I think all my melee stuff has to be finesse. I don't remember why my melee stuff has to be finesse.
To get sneak attack.
while
Is
you're
that
wearing adamantine armor, any critical hit against you becomes a normal hit.
Oh, that's so sweet.
So remember that, Jax.
I can't be crit against.
God damn.
Crit proof. You see Akar sort of standing there sweating, occasionally like wiping his brow with the gauntlet, even though it clearly scratches his skin, but he just can't bear to take it off. I'll say you'll move back over into the sort of more
Yeah.
work,
Shall we?
workspace.
I mean, we're basically setting up here for a week or so, right?
Yeah.
So we can take some time, tell some stories, get to know each other, and also, do we want to like clear out go see what those fiery chicken boys were?
I feel there's something down here. We never actually went to the end of this corridor. Like, legitimately, we ended up in here, had a big
Which one?
fight, and then ran out again.
Out here.
Yes.
Okay,
I'm
I'll
if we're gonna be
say
here for
Yeah,
a
and
while.
well,
we
we've
can do some
got Guy
exploring.
Fiery with us as well, so he might know what to do with the chicken monsters.
We can't communicate.
what are the
Yeah,
chicken?
but
I'll
if
say
he comes with
you
us, right?
you go out of the corridor and you see that it's just like a little terrace in a way, or not a terrace, but it's like a dock. If you imagine that
Balcony.
lava is water, it's like a dock. But what are the chicken things you're talking about?
The dinosaur mount fire things.
Oh yes, you can go try to interact with them during your week of downtime. What do you hope to accomplish?
I mean, just make sure that they're not gonna go wild. I just think we're kind of like cleaning up the area, right? We're helping clean up. I guess Guy Fiery might know how to deal with those things, so he might lead them in.
You see he goes over to them and starts like placating them and putting out some feed for them on the ground and strips of what seem to be some sort of meat jerky. And he seems to be sort of taking on a more passive role than the previous aggression that his people were taking on.
Sweet.
Everybody make a perception check. Oh, wow. I'll say during this period of time, Caesar is snoring on the ground.
Yeah.
Cool.
For
Okay,
For
so
an entire
Schlep.
week.
Professor, what's Professor's last name?
Leeb.
Fleeb, that's it. Professor Fleeb, in his sort of bird-like, constantly paying attention state, he notices when you guys go over here to placate the giant striders, you hear an echo coming from the south, and you remember hearing it during your incarceration periodically. It sounds like an enormous snoring sound, like a... I mean, it's quiet, but you hear it distantly from where you are.
Like, does that sound like breathing to anybody?
Don't know what you're talking about. Oh, you mean
Not him. Like on the breathes.
I'll say
we're underground? What breeze?
Breathing,
No.
dude.
Now that your attention has been drawn to it, the Jex and Scramble with a 12, you can start to tune into it, and you hear it coming from the southerly direction down here.
What is that? That's weird.
Don't know what you're talking about.
It's very faint. I suppose I might imagine that it could be confused with wind whistling through a tunnel, but Professor hears it quite distinctly.
I ain't looking for a big fight. I'm deliberately misunderstanding.
I'm curious.
Okay, so there's two ways we can go about this. Either the plot is leading us down this line, and Ed, you're being left behind.
Oh, no, that was out of character as a comment, right? If you guys go that way, I'll follow you. But like, I'll just be like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just like, if it sounds like something big snoring, like, I'll join you, but I don't want to make us go.
I'm curious about something big and snoring. I mean, this must be some kind of like, I don't know, maybe there's some kind of cool fire giant or like dwarf dude that we can sneak up on and have a look at. That would be sweet.
If there's anything else that you want to accomplish during a week of downtime, like a book you want to read or a skill you want to brush up on, just let me know.
I've got nothing. Okay, let's go and wander that way. I at
I'm
least
just gonna
go.
try making different meals for Guy Fiery during the week. But
I go with Jex to investigate the south.
Okay. Jax, give me 3 cooking checks for the times that you were trying to entertain Guy Fiery.
okay, that should be basically oh yeah, it's just Dex, but I'm getting my proficiency.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. I will just use. I have a +6 on acrobatics, so I'll use that, and then I get to roll an an extra D4. Oh, that's a crit fail, so I get to re-roll that.
That's acrobatics?
Oh, because you're a halfling, yeah.
My acrobatics is +6, and so would be my cooking check. That's all.
Oh, okay.
It's just a
So
shortcut.
that is 19 for the first one.
Mm-hmm.
The next one is 14.
Mm-hmm.
The last one is 15.
Okay.
19, 14, 15.
The first meal you make, you play it a bit safer and you make some more chicken wings, this time with a little more spice. And Guy Fiery, absolutely slurps it down and just starts playfully throwing the bones into the lava and watching them disappear. Then you go a different direction and make like a dessert, let's say, for the middle meal. And he sort of eats it, but just kind of very lackadaisically. And then for the last meal, what do you make?
Ooh, let's go with. I guess we could something with lots of chili. Oh, I'm making really hot tacos. I'm making empanadas.
Okay, he eats
I'm making
them,
a whole Mexican.
and he seems very happy about them. Not as happy as the first meal. You get the sense that the chicken wings, for some reason, are his favorite, but he really enjoys the empanadas, and he takes out his scimitar and does a slightly more convincing impression of your air guitar from before.
Ah, okay.
Cool.
Like during this week when we've got a bit more time, I mean, we might be looking down the thing, but I'm just gonna be like strumming my playing different music to him and see how he likes it. But
Cool.
after feeding him, so the feed is the main thing.
So you see a Carl turn to Professor Fleeb and Scramble, and he says, taking you by the hands, he says, with his giant gauntlet, like cradling your tiny hands by comparison, he says, I want to thank you for helping me restore this forge to the dwarven lineage. I haven't been able to make you anything because it doesn't seem like you're able to request something from me, but take those ingots. Go on.
To be fair, I was captured here, and quite frankly, I just spent 45 minutes blasting things, so it's all good.
He chuckles heartily.
Like a short sword, if that's possible, would be nice, but otherwise, that's all I would need. Nothing fancy. I'm a wizard, really. Don't really like pointed objects, to be honest.
You see him get to work straight away, and he has that same conversation with you, Scramble. Do you tell him anything?
I mean, I might just take the ingots, to be honest.
You just want to take the raw material?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's
Cool.
what Scramble would do. I think.
Nice. Just write down in your equipment that you have that.
I have 20 adamantium ingots.
That's the one. Cool. And I'll say, Professor Fleeb, I'm going to put it in the chat, the description for your item, because I don't think it'll be in the compendium, so you'll need to make a note of it, if that's all right.
Will do. I'll do some copy and pasting.
Sweet, there you go.
I would assume that I've spelled adamantium correctly, because that'll have to do.
Well, technically it's adamantine, but, to each their own.
Oh, okay. No, I can spell like that as well.
Sweet. Okay.
Is out of interest? Is that like an aluminium/aluminum pronunciation?
No, they're entirely different substances.
The differences at all. Fantastic. There we go.
Yeah,
Is that adamantium versus adamantine?
Yeah, one is in the
Depends
Marvel
on the lore
universe, and the other one is Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah, there we go.
And yeah.
Okay, I've copied and pasted that.
Sweet. Awesome. Okay. He stands atop the sort of conveyor belt area of the power hammer and says, You have done a great service to the dwarven people. This shall not be forgotten. Go forth with your creations and cleanse this jungle of evil. And he seems to be like increasingly becoming like a character in his own play or something.
I'm glad you said it.
Like,
So what are you gonna? Excuse me. So Carl, what are you gonna do? You got any friends you're gonna bring in here? You gonna bring this place back up?
Yes. I think once I've got this place back into working order and cleaned it up, I'm going to go back to Nyanzaru and recruit some of my friends to come help me run it properly.
I look between Caesar and a Carl, a bit confused. Like, these are you two are they're both dwarf. Like, I'm not saying anything. I'm just looking back and forth between them. Like, eh?
He was a dwarf. He was a dwarf.
You would remember. Actually, no, you wouldn't, Scramble. You wouldn't know. Okay, cool. You can make an insight check just for fun.
Oh, sure. My insight is top tier.
Okay. With a 7, you get the sense that Akal
They don't like each other.
Akal is sort of playing up his knowledge of this forge a little bit, and he might not actually know as much about it as Caesar does, and may not understand like the connection there, but you don't know the details of why.
Yeah. All right.
Sorry, I feel that I was editing my character sheet with the adamantium spear at the wrong time. There's something I should have picked up on what he just said.
No, there's
No.
nothing you needed to necessarily
No, I was
do.
just confused as to why a Carl was talking about getting in his like dwarven friends when you are a dwarf right there, and so I was like making quizzical eyes, and I think that he's bullshitting and you actually know more than him. So in a quiet moment, I'm gonna head over to you and be like, hey Caesar, nothing against your fellow dwarf man over there, Mr. Carl, or whatever it is, Carl. But has he got any idea what he's talking about?
Yeah, he's got the golden gauntlet. He's
Yeah,
the
but he
boss.
just picked that up. Like I could have picked that up if I'd known about it.
Well, you could have done, and you would have been the boss, right?
Yeah, but I don't want to be the boss. But that's not the point.
These forged dwarves, I don't really mesh with them really. I'd much rather be wrestling. That's why I left. So
So you
Mark
left.
can do
Alright,
what he
fair enough.
wants.
Alright. That's all I needed to know.
Cool.
I'm content with that answer.
Awesome. So what
Caesar
do you,
might know more. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Jesus doesn't care.
If you don't care, I don't care.
what did the professor want to do again? Sorry.
Want to do?
You mentioned a course of action before this whole conversation about the forge and things like that.
Oh, I was grabbing the plot hook for the wind / breathing in the south.
Oh yeah, that breathing thing.
Cool. All right. You intend to travel south? Is that the intention?
Well, I was very, very happy to go with Jex, because I can't fully remember whether I was here to find someone or whether I was here to search for an artifact of some kind, and that will come to light when I remember what I was doing.
Are you saying
Or
that
it will
in
come-
character or out of character? You can't remember.
I'm saying that out of character. I don't really have some reason for my character being around this area that was then captured will come to light at some point.
Okay, cool. Well, if you
game progresses.
if you want me to create something, let me know.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. All right. So as you head down towards this southern passage, you look down it, and the light from the lava and the sort of ambience of the forge casts it a little way down, illuminates it a little way, but beyond that, it's incredibly black. And you don't seem to hear any snoring at the moment, or any of that sound that you presume to be snoring. And that's it. It's an incredibly long passage. Do you intend to go down it?
I wouldn't go alone.
Yes. Is everybody going? I suppose is my question.
Yeah, we'll go with this guy. Well,
Definitely.
yeah. How about
Is this during the week or is this after we've
This is
finished with?
this is after the week has concluded.
Sure, definitely then. Why not?
Cool.
Well, I'm not gonna be hanging around with Madman Carl. Like Power Man Carl by himself. Yeah, I guess I'll come with you guys.
Power Man
if you're all
Carl.
going, all right.
Okay, cool. So
If I see any dwarfs, Carl, I'll point them in your way if they're looking for work.
he
I'm
says,
gonna go.
"Thank you very much. I would appreciate that."
Yeah, and I'll
I'm gonna give. I'm to Carl. So I know this is a very, overwhelming moment for him. So I'm not gonna judge him for being a bit weird about it. I'm just gonna be like, go up, shake his hand, and be like, "Dude, it's been real. I hope I can come back here and see it once you've got it in its full glory."
Thank you. You have served the dwarven realm with aplomb.
And I just point to like me and him on my new armor. I'm like, "Hey!"
I agree. It is some of my finest work. I hope you wear it into many great battles.
And then I give him like a little bye. Throw him
A little
an extra chicken wing. A wing. Give him an extra chicken wing.
He says,
And then go.
excellent. And he just starts munching, but more delicately than he used to munch, more like tiny little bites. Cool. All right, so
He's fancy now.
whoever
chicken with away.
is leading could please make a survival check.
I'm gonna be singing about how awesome we just did. So whoever wants to do this survival check, take my bardic inspiration.
Fuck it. Boom.
Okay.
Actually got some.
And have an extra 4.
As in a
Okay.
D4, or just gain 4.
I rolled my D8 inspiration, so
Okay.
4 higher. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. With that, you managed to travel for most of the day until you realize you're going to have to rest. But because it's so incredibly dark, you're not really sure how much time has passed. Do you make camp? You've done a day's worth of walking into this tunnel. What do you do now?
I'm suspicious about how long this is, especially if we haven't kept track of time. I also, if it's dark to a point where I couldn't see, I definitely would have cast dark vision on myself.
Well,
Okay.
we've got is Guy Fiery coming with us?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
follows you.
Does he seem nervous here or just fine?
He seems to have just had a born again type experience, and he just seems to be walking in a very zen, nothing really matters kind of way.
Anyone can see.
Sweet.
Okay, so we've gone quite. So we've gone. We don't know how long we've gone for, but we think it's a long time.
You feel like the tiredness of a day's walking, but you don't actually know how long that's been.
Okay. A day. I don't know if we would have gone for a day. Like if you begin to walk down a dark passage and half an hour goes by, you probably turn around and go, "This is a bit weird."
Do we hear the sound getting closer or anything?
Everybody make a perception check to see what you hear.
Let's perceive. Ooh, not 20.
Wow.
I'm not seeing your rolls.
Oh, that's because I'm rolling to myself. Sorry.
Ah,
I was
be lying
testing.
about that now.
I was testing. I can screenshot it.
Nah, we'll believe
I was testing my cooking utensils skill macro.
Okay, so Professor Fleeb and
All
Jax.
still got better than me. Yeah.
Professor Fleeb and Jax hear a distinct, sort of much quieter version of the snoring sounds that you heard before. More like a...
I didn't hear anything.
Didn't get-
Quiet.
That was so quiet.
So quiet, nothing.
Man, it's like
mic
I
didn't
rolled
pick it
10
up.
in real life.
There you go. Is that better?
Oh yeah.
Still
I
hear
heard
it a little bit.
Am I mad? Am I the only person that can hear that?
No, dude, I
what?
heard that.
Hear what?
It was like this.
Heard what?
Trying to play on stone cutting from dwarf race, would Caesar know the purpose of the tunnel or be able to discern anything about it?
Yeah, that means you get advantage on history checks related to stone, right?
Yeah.
So roll me a history check with advantage, please.
What a weird trait.
Okay, so even with
Advantage
a
on history text related to stuff.
even with a 13, your time spent in Hrak Hamar Forge would let you know that this is part of an old minecart tunnel that led to another mine that even further generations ago dwarves used to use, but no one in Hrak Hamar has talked about it or gone there in a long time, like many generations.
Did we see? Is Caesar aware of like a minecart station anywhere?
Not along this tunnel, no. There's
Or in
not
the
rails
forge
along the
itself?
yeah, there are some in the forge itself. Yeah.
Are there rails
Guys.
along this tunnel?
Yes,
on.
you're basically walking on top of rails.
Oh,
Guys, we've been walking for an entire day when we could have been riding in style.
well, what the fuck?
Did we actually go down the tunnel for a day, or we kind
I'll
of?
say-
I would have probably said if we went down for half an hour and we still didn't get anywhere, I definitely would have been
Yeah.
like, no.
I'll say
Yeah.
I'll say Caesar, you would know the layout of the forge pretty well. If you would have let everyone know to get in a minecart beforehand, we can say that you're in a minecart.
Let's do that. That's
Whee!
definitely after walking for 30 minutes, Caesar's getting a bit tired, so he definitely would want to be in a minecart.
I don't know,
Okay.
we walked for like 30 minutes, maybe at like 30 minutes, Phoebe's getting like something's wrong, and then she's like, wait a minute, minecarts.
I find it amusing that like literally none of us have walked for like more than half an hour consecutively so far this adventure because we're
Yeah,
flying on
true
eagles
that.
to travel.
Okay, cool. So with a minecart and your survival check, you managed to travel much faster than your previous imagination would have led you to believe. Or we could say you went like a few hundred feet inside the tunnel, then decided to double back and get the minecart and do it more efficiently if you prefer.
Dude, I'm getting pretty out of breath.
Sweet. So what happens is after about a day's worth of minecart gliding, you see distantly that there is a little bit of a light way in the distance, but you get the sense that you're pretty like fatigued after having like had to manually push yourself down this minecart track using the end of your spear and your step ladder and things to like a gondola with those punting like sticks. So
Yeah,
you're
can we
getting
say
That
pretty,
would be tiring.
if you kept exactly. If you kept going, you would take a point of exhaustion, or you could sleep basically.
Well, if Gondola sees a chameleon is tired, he's goddamn gonna take a rest.
Can someone else be pushing while you're resting?
Well, yeah. If you're asking me, then yes, theoretically. But you've all been like doing this for a day, so whoever keeps pushing would take
Oh
a
yeah,
point of
we've been
exhaustion.
taking turns.
Oh, but I only need a trance, right? You guys, I got 4. Well, I can get, I guess.
Wait, is Scramble about to volunteer to push more?
No. You're right. As I
guys.
like thought about it, I was like, nah, I'm just gonna sleep
I'm pretty
for 8
hungry.
hours.
Can we stop for a snack break?
Snack.
How big is the air? How big is this tunnel?
It's about 10 feet wide and about 10 feet high.
Perfect.
Just large enough for a fire.
So what does this
a very
perfect
cozy hut.
refer to?
It's the chat.
So it's the size of a tiny hut.
Oh, you make a tiny hut.
Oh, lovely.
Okay, cool. Just let me try and grab your icons. What's up?
Or
What
is it
did
to
you
keep
say?
us hidden?
If it's the same as Leoman's tiny hut, then it's basically like an impenetrable sort of like magic.
Yeah, it's like a shield that's opaque on the outside, but you can see out of in the inside, right?
Yes, I believe so. You can choose what color the exterior is. and
Somewhere a
things
bit
like
nicer
that.
to sleep in.
Wait for it. Okay, so what order would you guys be in the mining cart? Or let's say carts. It would probably take 2 mining carts. And there's
I'll
no
be at the front
shortage
of
them.
one, yelling, having
Okay,
a
you're-
wild time.
You're at the front of one, yelling, having a wild time. Actually, you're in the tiny hut now, so I suppose it's not overly important the order. Okay, so is anyone taking watch, or are you just sleeping comfortably in the hut?
Caesar would be sleeping comfortably.
Yeah, we're in a
we're in
hut.
a hut.
Cool.
Yeah, just sleep it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
just
just
gonna
we're
check.
sleeping in the hut.
You take a long rest. You wake up, and the tiny hut, I think, gives up its power after about 8 hours or something. Yeah.
Duration
So
hours.
you wake up and you see the light in the distance. As I assume you continue.
I don't know, let's
Yeah.
get some breakfast first.
Cool.
Am I
You-
Hey,
making
Jax,
breakfast?
got any more of them chicken wings?
Cool. You
Oh,
make-
dude, let me roll a d20 and find out.
Go for it. You have 10 chicken wings left.
We got a few chicken wings.
Ah, nice.
You have
We got
a-
just. Sorry.
You have a breakfast that is mainly consumed by what's the word? The most of your time is taken up by Guy Fieri trying to steal everyone else's chicken wings.
Chicken wings and hash browns.
So you're having to like constantly fight him off, basically. Cool. So
It's like a puppy, though. It's very good.
Yeah. As you come to the edge of this tunnel, what you see is quite surprising. You see this fairly large cavern, and you look up and you see that the shaft continues for 60, maybe 90 feet above your heads, and it appears to have a coating of like bones and charred skeletons on the ground below you. There's also a 60-foot high waterfall pouring out on the northern wall, and about a 10-foot deep pool beneath it. And the sound of crashing water is incredibly loud in this room.
Is that the noise you guys were hearing? Point at the
I
wall.
honestly don't think so.
Maybe.
Well, how the hell could you hear anything over this?
But look at this thing. This is
It's
beautiful.
a fair point.
It's beautiful. There's skeletons on the ground.
Well, they're not yours.
You're not wrong.
Everybody make a medicine check.
Medicine. Nice.
Okay, so one.
I was about to
These
say
might
re-roll
be
it.
my bones, actually.
Okay, Scramble, roll a d20 for me. Just a
D20,
random
just-
d20.
There's a way to do that. There it is.
You might as well just roll medicine again.
19. Okay.
Oh, that's true. I did get a 0 to medicine. Oh, 19. Huh.
You
That would have been better on the medicine check.
basically you managed to. I'll say actually, where are you standing? Like, I'll say you're standing probably at the edge in order to see this stuff.
Are we on
We're
the,
not on the right
on a map somewhere?
Yeah, can you not see it?
No.
Oh,
No,
you
we're
need
seeing
to
the
drag the
previous
players.
map still.
Oh, I haven't moved you. Okay, there you go.
Where are we?
Ooh, here we go.
Ah.
Ah.
Now all the descriptions make more sense.
Oh, sorry about
Oh,
that.
dude,
I
this
think
is
it's theatre of mind.
beautifully
Ah.
spooky.
Okay.
Ooh.
So basically, Scrummel manages to do a backflip out of the mining cart and make an assessment of the bones and says, they look like mosquito bones, which doesn't make sense because mosquitoes don't have bones. But he looks incredibly cool while being wrong, whereas Jax seems to
As always.
confidently identify them as dwarven bones.
Oh, dude, I look
Oh
at
my
Caesar. I'm
God.
like, dude, you might not want to hear this. And then I just like gesture for him to turn around, facing away from us.
And that's when I like stand bolt upright. These are mosquito bones.
Oh my god!
I'm just saying.
Giant mosquito!
Oh, I'm sorry. You didn't want to hear that, Caesar. I'm so sorry.
Caesar, look over there, and I point like the opposite way that the group is standing.
What-
I also
what's
look over there to try.
Yeah, so Caesar looks over there, and then I just turn my back to Caesar and tell everyone else, these are dwarf bones.
I'm pretty sure these are mosquito bones.
What happened here? Oh my god!
Well, a lot of mosquitoes died.
So,
So-
all of
so-
this,
so- so-
all of this stuff down here is our bones.
Yes, exactly.
Wow.
You.
Oh, as
How
in
would
the
so
whole
many
landscape is covered in bones.
Yeah, like, well, not
Yeah,
all of
fucking
it, but
loads.
I'd say like 50-60% of it is covered.
What is our vision like in here?
Sorry, what do you mean by that?
How
light
well
is it?
can we see?
Oh, how well? You can
How
see
well is it?
relatively well because you can't really tell, but when you look up the 60-foot chamber, you get the sense that there's light bouncing off the turns. It's not a straight chamber, but there must be light somewhere at the top because it seems to be like trickling down through the shaft.
Okay.
Cool.
I
So
don't
your
need to
vision-
cast. I don't need to cast light on a rock then and throw the rock somewhere.
Your vision is pretty good.
Okay. And my vision is great because I have dark vision roasted. That's how I can identify these mosquito birds so
This
well.
is pretty horrible.
Yeah, who would lure this many mosquitoes down here?
Like Scramble.
Yeah.
You do know what a mosquito is, right?
Yes.
Just Can you just describe one for me? Because I'm not sure we're on the same
Do
page.
you know what a mosquito is?
Well, I
Because
don't
you
know.
wanted me to describe one. Sounds like you don't know what a mosquito is, and I think you should describe it as a
You need-
result.
All
'Cause
right,
I know
dude.
what a mosquito is.
Let's both say at the same time. Count of three.
Professor Fleeb has wandered off down the path. He's like looking over the
What's
side
that?
at the bones.
I say Scramble. Count of three. 1, 2, 3, and then I don't say anything.
And I'm waiting for you to say something as well. Because I was just going to, like, copy what you said, but a second later, like half a second later.
I just thought like, okay. 1, 2, 3, and can I do like a performance or a deception to try and make it seem like I'm saying something, but not?
Well, I mean, you could, but it would depend whether Scramble was actually going to do it or not.
Say
My
anything
intent
anyway.
is to say what you
Right.
say, but like half a second after you and play it off as if we said it at the same
Okay,
time.
Yeah.
in that case, Jax needs to make a performance or deception check.
Okay, yeah, I'll do performance. I'll be like, Scrammle's a doofus.
Oh, wow. Okay, Scramble, you feel pretty confident that you're about to say it just after him.
Do I get any roll against this? To not fall into
okay,
this?
You had prepared action to repeat statement after the.
You could roll an insight check if you want, but I don't know how much it's going to help you.
Oh, it's gonna nat 20. That
Intelligence saving.
Okay,
All right,
no.
I'm ready.
roll
I'm ready.
a-
All right, on the
Scrabble's
count
a
of three.
doofus.
Scrabble's a doofus. Oh shit!
Yeah. You were lying, dude. I called it.
What do you mean? You didn't describe what a mosquito was either. What do you
All
mean?
right, doofus. I'll tell you. A mosquito's like a fly, dude. Like
Yeah,
a
I
blood
can see
fly.
mosquitoes like a fly. I knew that. I
Okay,
knew that.
doofus. Hey, this guy's doofus now.
Are we near the water?
Yeah, I mean,
Can I push Jax into the water?
Okay, make athletics check against Jax's athletics check.
I try and dodge.
Well, you can try and dodge, or that would be dexterity saving throw.
Oh,
Okay, sure.
even with a -1.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that means, Scramble, you go to push
Motherfucker.
Jax, and he dances out of the way, and you fall into the water.
Oh, what? Surely I could not fall in.
And what happens then is...
Have a
Alright.
doofus.
I make it look like I meant to do that. I make it look like I was diving into the water.
Okay, you do a pretty convincing job, but then you feel like this swarm of fish start biting you.
Oh my god,
You're gonna
cheese
need
out of
to.
the water as quickly as possible.
They get a surprise attack on you, but you're gonna
Oh,
be able
no.
to get out in just a second. The first one, does that hit with a 15?
My AC is 16. No,
Okay.
he doesn't hit.
That doesn't hit. Okay, so the next one tries to bite you. Oh, that hits with a
Yeah, that
22.
hits.
You take 1 piercing damage.
Oof!
How many of these things are there? I totally forgot how many.
I thought you tell me.
Roll
you should be-
1d1.
You should.
Oh,
you should be
they
able to
roll
see them.
1d1 damage.
Well, these are just tiny little like piranha style
Ah,
fish.
okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Piranhas?
Okay, so this one that hits you for another 1 damage.
Yep.
And then 1, 2, 3, 2 more to go. And then this one hits for 1 damage. And then this one misses for 1 damage.
Misses
then-
for 1 damage.
You can get out of the water, but then they'll all
Yes.
get an attack of opportunity on you, so they're going
I
to
will
again.
take that risk.
Well, you can use your
Oh, you can use
Oh,
your
I
cunning
can
action.
your cunning, right?
Cunning action to disengage.
Nice, well done.
Yeah, that's what I'll do, and just like step out of the water.
Okay, you've got
And I'm
like
like,
all these tiny
That's
cuts on you.
so I go out like, oh fuck, shit, guys. I think I know what happened to the mosquitoes. I say as I'm shaking myself out.
I'm like, dude, did you just try and kill me?
Duh? What?
I just
No,
look
I
down at
didn't.
the fish like biting you and the bite marks in your legs. I'm like, dude, did you try and feed me to those things?
Dude, you tried to kill me. You got out of the way. I was just going for a friendly shoulder punch.
At this moment, you hear over the top of the crashing water sounds, you hear and it sounds like that same snoring sound, but much louder, coming from the south.
Lee, did you just fart?
Fully farted. Let's go home. And by home I mean back.
I just want to. I mean, okay. Let's see if I do this piece of logic before I jump back into the real thing. Where's the button? Here it is. Yeah,
Oh,
no,
wow.
I definitely. I was gonna be like, if I get an acceptable roll, I'll be like, nah, he didn't know what mosquitoes are. He wouldn't have known those things were even there. But I'm just like, dude, you just tried to feed me to those things.
You sense treachery.
Like,
I'm
I
just,
didn't
like,
even know they
walking
were
away.
there.
I'm like, dude, dude, I'm so mad right now. Don't
Dude,
even
you-
talk to me.
Dude,
Come
you
on,
did feed
guy.
me to those things. Dude,
Come
you don't
on,
even
guy.
know what a mosquito is.
And I pull out the last chicken wing in front of Scrammle's eyes, and I toss it to Guy.
You see Guy catches it and ferociously eats it while stumbling out onto this bridge.
Now, before, this was funny. Now it's personal.
I think I that's what I say to Flea. Do you
Mm.
reckon those fish ate these dwarves? So I
Honest,
look at-
honestly, the main thought that's in my head is I might have been better off in the cell. The honest answer is I'm gonna go with, like, no. Like
Man.
that's a lot of bones and not a lot of fish and not a lot of water for it to have just been those fish.
I don't know.
It could have been.
I mean, I'm convinced he's a smart guy. Sure.
Yeah, at this point,
But
I just go stamping past you two.
It maybe depends where the waterfall comes from. Like, if the waterfall brought in, like, you know, dead dwarves and then the fish ate all of the flesh off of them and then all of the bones are brought to the outside, yes. But I don't think, like, you know, hundreds and thousands of dwarves were just thrown into this water with piranhas in alive and then died. I don't believe that.
Well, that makes me feel better anyway. Thanks, Flea.
In the meanwhile, something's really breathing very heavily over there.
And me and Guy just have stomped past you now because I'm angry at Scramble.
Just like wrigging myself out and trying to work out how to get back at you.
You know, he's gone now, and I suppose the element of surprise maybe went with that. I sort of remind myself by sort of like tapping myself, and there's the flutter of paper as my mage armor just shimmers off my robes as a nice comforting reminder that I always prepare it when I get up in the morning.
So you've cast Mage Armor on yourself?
I always cast it. There is no reason to not have it cast.
Okay, cool. How
Effectively,
long does it?
Like,
How long does it last?
8 hours.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
It is literally a spell which there is no disadvantage for any mage as soon as they wake up in the morning to cast it as one of their spell slots.
Use
Especially for me
right,
because I
yeah,
gain
yeah.
the extra 15 hit points.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
so you're warding.
So I'm making an assumption
it does cost
that
a spell slot. That's all.
it does cost a spell slot, and I effectively run with the idea that I will always have it, and I've always got one less spell slot because of it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm down with that. What would you guys like to do? You're in a chamber with loud water and tons of bones on the ground. You see the sort of mining cart tracks continue down this direction, and the cave sort of tunnel continues down this direction to the south, both to the south, but just different parts of it.
I think I would follow the tracks and try to stay on the minecart path.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Are you still in the minecart, or have you gone on foot now?
I've got out of the minecart, I think.
I think I'm pushing. I got Guy to jump in a minecart, and I'm pushing it like a shopping trolley, grumpily.
You see,
So I
Guy
just trundle
Fiery is
past
pretty
Cleve
happy.
as he's as Cleve and Caesar are talking. I just trundle past them without a word, grumpily.
Okay.
If I
Mm-hmm.
can my mage hand, I've got whatever the upgraded mage hand is called, pick up one of these fish. Are they small enough for me to do that?
Can't pick up something alive. I'm pretty damn
Okay.
sure. I'd have to check, but I'm pretty damn sure it has to be an object.
Let me check.
Right, I'm not. Yeah, I don't know the full details. That's why I was asking.
I'll just do a quick
I have-
little check. Yeah.
Mage hand ledger. How do you say that?
Legerdemain.
Legerdemain. I have the upgraded the rogues, arcane trickster version of upgraded mage hand as well.
Legerdemain.
My plan is to sneak a fish onto Jex's body.
Yeah, obviously.
It says you can't attack with it, and technically grappling a fish would count as an attack. So I'm going to say no, you can't do that.
All right, fair enough.
He does grab one, but because he doesn't recognize them, he's grabbed a dead one.
I'll say you could pick up a bone, or I mean, there's not necessarily any dead fish around. You'd have to look for one if you wanted to find a dead fish.
Nah. If it's not easy, I'm not that worried about it. I'll come up with something else to get him back.
I mean, I liked it, but the limitations of Mage Hand just weren't going for you. I think the advantage of having upgraded Mage Hand means you can perform like Thieves' Tools checks and Sleight of Hand checks with it.
Oh yeah.
But it
No,
doesn't let
Does
you.
it make it invisible? Is that the thing?
Yes, mage hand can be invisible.
Cool. So you're heading down towards this tunnel. Fleeb on foot. Caesar also.
Yeah, I was going to be in the minecart, but I feel that I'm just going to be following Glebe anyway.
Okay, cool. So I'll say that the Guy, Fiery, and Jax probably make quicker progress because of the minecart, and the rest of you can
I love
follow.
that. Like, Scramble is like spends a moment wrigging himself out, looking at the fish, trying to come up with something, and then turns around and starts chasing after us.
Nah, I go down this way. I'm gonna hope that this meets up with you. And I see you disappear up here, and I'm like, oh, this way must meet up with them.
Okay, cool.
I
So
hope
you
that's this,
see as you go through here, Jackson, Guy, Fiery, that there's like a fork in the road where the minecart tracks end abruptly at a wall, and then the passage sort of continues off to the right. And Scramble, you see that there's another passage that you're following that seems to curve around to the right also, but from a different perspective.
So
Yeah, I'll go that way.
I'll push the cart just so it's about there, and then have Guy hop out and start walking down this corridor.
Okay, cool. So
And then look back at the other dudes here. I'm like, you guys good?
Okay. What does Fleeb and Caesar say?
No, let's have a look.
Yep, I grumble and walk onwards. Yes.
Is the noise definitely coming from this direction?
Yes, you hear the snoring sounds get louder, definitely.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So what Scramble sees is a sort of larger part of this chamber, and then there's a little cliff kind of over here. And you, that's about all you see there. And then you guys would see this sort of section up here. Cool. So who am I going to do first? Okay, let's do Jax's party first. Now that you guys have split up with this rivalry. Okay, let me describe it for you.
I love that. Like, Jack
The stupidest rivalry ever.
Because he thinks Scramble tried to push him in on purpose. Because he did try and push me in, and Scrammle's mad because Jax dodged.
Yeah, I'm mad because you tricked me with the mosquito thing as well. I'm mad that you're making me look like an idiot.
Yeah, fair enough. That's pretty
What
funny.
a dude.
So, please.
And I did give away the last chicken wing to not you.
Like, I don't mind looking like an idiot. I mind that you made me look like an idiot.
yeah. No, this is a great dynamic. I love this.
Okay, so Jax's party, is that where your icons, is that where your characters are, or are you further down? It'll just
We'll be
depend on...
moving along.
We're effectively just walking along at a walking pace, so at some point we will round this corner.
Okay, so
And
hanging...
And I assume the...
I'm venting to Guy, just like, can you believe that, dude?
You see in front of you, on the sort of right-hand wall, the western wall, you see hanging from pegs are 4 ferocious-looking wooden masks and 4 capes made of scaly dinosaur hide that appeared to have been dyed bright red.
I suppose that is a history check?
What are you trying to discern?
What it is? Like, Who
What
would
they
own
are?
them? Are they a religion I recognize? Would it be a species that I know wears these things or makes them?
I would say give me either history or religion. It's up to you. Oh wow.
Nice.
With a 25, your studies have overlapped with the somewhat pesky culture of the kobolds quite often. And this
Ah,
is something you recognize as being the kinds of like dramatic showmanship that kobolds often employ when they're trying to get in the good graces of stronger beasts and monsters. And
here be dragons,
and
or at
you
least
see
small ones.
Jax, as you turn around the corner, you see a red dragon sleeping atop a hoard of presumably treasure.
There's the bugger.
And I'm just like, I was just stomping along grumpily, and
Exactly.
I didn't even look at the things on the wall, and I walk like maybe a few steps closer than I mean to, at least. And then I look up and I stop, and I'm just like, what the? Actually, let me do an arbitrary justice roll.
A what roll?
Arbitrary justice. I'm just going to see how I feel about this. Okay. I got it together.
Oh, what? As to whether you like pee your pants or not.
Yeah, I've got this together, and I just like immediately stop, look up, and just stop speaking and start gesturing.
Okay. So basically, you get the sense that the heavy waterfall noises have covered your approach so far. But if you were to make any other kinds of noises, you are concerned that the dragon may wake up.
Okay, I'm gonna.
I think all I can see from around the corner, all I can see is Jex, right? So
Yeah.
like, I'm
gonna
imagining you. The symbols that you're using is just you're cawing like a bird and like flapping your wings.
Oh no noise. I'm like just using my hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, have 'em. I mean, yeah. Okay, let me see if I'm. Let me see how. I do a mediocre job. I at least put my. I eventually, you just stand there looking at me as I do all these weird actions, and then I just put my hand up in like a stop, and then point at my eyes and point towards the dragon.
Cool. What do you do?
I guess I go around the corner and look at this dragon completely silently, as silent as a big fat sumo dwarf can.
Okay. You look around the corner and you see the dragon.
Ever
Is
seen a
Camel
dragon
sneaking
before?
ahead?
What is Scramble doing?
So before we knew this dragon was here, my intention was when I see the party to try and to roll stealth to like not be spotted by Jack specifically. But I guess
perfect.
everybody as a result. I didn't even know the dragon was there when that was my plan.
Okay, so
Yeah.
roll a stealth
That's what I was
check.
expecting.
Definitely roll a stealth check, Scramble.
Oh
Ooh.
no!
Okay, so I'm gonna need you to roll a
That's a
d20
nat one.
again.
That's a nat one, but I do have that plus 10.
What happens is, as you're crouching close to the ground and curving your way around this corner, unbeknownst to you, a tiny mouse is nibbling on the flesh of a dwarven bone nearby, and it sees you and suddenly scuttles up your trouser leg and proceeds to like bite you on the calves and ankles, and you basically scream out in pain.
Ah, I have a
And-
pet mouse on my as an urchin. But I don't know if that matters.
And then you basically see, Jax, that the dragon opens one eye
Ow!
and says,
As I'm like, yeah.
"What is this? Who are you? You
What?
must
Who are you?
die." And
No.
everybody needs to roll initiative.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, can't we talk about this? I didn't even know you were here. Oh my word, I'm not rolling well today at all.
So first to react with sort of nerdish speed is Professor Phlebe.
What do I want to even do with this?
You see the dragon sort of turn and make sort of arch its neck and look very intimidating and say, "Who are you? Are you new recruits? You should not have disturbed me.
What moon? I just got here. I don't know what's going on.
So is this a path? So what is this? Is this some kind of cliff that's in front of?
It's 25 feet above the sort of chamber below it.
Okay. I tap Caesar on the shoulder and say, "Eat this," and I hand him a spider.
Eat this, and you put your middle finger up at him.
I effectively cast spider climb.
Nice.
I don't need it. I've got slow fall. So
Fuck.
This way-
Well,
Okay.
Well, spider
someone
climb
else.
is different in that you could theoretically walk along the ceiling if you wanted to, but
Yeah.
if you're
Oh my
not
god,
concerned-
yes.
You can literally walk up the ceiling and run across down to him and jump onto him.
Yes, definitely. Thank you. Sorry for doubting you, little spider, as I stroke it and then devour it.
Cool. All right. So is that the end of your turn, Professor Philippe?
yes, that will be my turn.
Okay, Caesar, you
Beyond
now have spider
that-
climb. Oh, go on.
That and cowering behind a rock, but otherwise fine.
Okay, sweet.
So-
Go on.
So to move up and down. Oh my god, that's an amazing spell. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
jealous.
how many feet away am I ceiling wise to being on top of this dragon?
Ceiling wise.
This ceiling is about 15 feet above where you are. So therefore it is 30, 40 feet above the lower chamber.
So it'll take you 10 feet to get to the ceiling if you're already in the square. Is that right?
Well, no, it's 15 feet up, so it would take you 15 foot of movement to get
He's
to the
running
ceiling.
around. Yeah. Rocket League style.
Okay. I'm going to spend the key point to use Step of the Wind.
Nice.
Which allows me to take a
straight
dash.
to the
Oh
ceiling.
my god, I didn't mean to.
That's okay.
well,
I
text for
know
nothing.
how.
I just do a bonus action dash.
Oh, you jump distance. You could just jump to the ceiling with that, probably.
Boing.
Can I? You can actually jump.
It says, at the bottom, it says your jump distance is doubled for the turn.
That probably is length, not height.
I think there are rules for both.
Yeah, your long jump and your vertical jumper. have
Essentially,
different
I think
things.
what it will say is that I'm able to go to the roof quite quickly.
Yes, you're there. Yeah.
And then am I able to also move and attack?
Yeah,
to
totally.
bonus action. Sure. So, I'll spider climb to be basically on top of the dragon.
So wait, if it takes 15 feet to get to the what's it called ceiling, then you've got. Sorry, let me count it for you. So
I've got
that'd be,
80 foot of movement. Then it doubles your normal walking speed.
It doubles your normal walking speed. Yeah, so that'd be 15. So that's 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Yeah, you can easily get there.
Easy. And then I'm gonna drop down. You said it was 50 feet drop, right?
Well, it's 15 feet above the 25 foot
It's
high
40.
section. So it's 40 from the dragon from the top of that dragon's area to the ground.
To turn that into other units, that is 15 meters.
Okay.
You are dropping from a 4 to 5 story tall building.
Yes, but I've got slow fall.
Oh,
which means
yes,
I
of
can
course,
Reduce
shit.
the damage by 30.
Nah, use your falling momentum to crush this dragon.
Just
I am a
elbows
fat
drop,
boy.
elbow drop.
I'm gonna elbow drop this dragon.
Okay, so
Okay, out of nowhere.
what's the attack?
My weight.
Oh no! Use the chair.
Oh,
I can use the ladder, fully spread eagled, like Superman pose, slamming down on this dragon with step ladder.
Okay, so I'll say this is pretty cool. So make a attack roll with your step ladder. Oh, nice. Okay. Now roll a d10 for me to add your weight to the damage because you're falling 15 meters onto him. Nice. Okay. So this is two-handed because you don't have a shield, right?
Yep.
Okay. So that is 14. I'll say 10 piercing damage and 4 bludgeoning damage. Okay. So you see this thing. You see this dragon takes a mighty blow to the side of its neck, and it sort of goes, "You fat kobold? Who's been recruiting you? This isn't right. I'm gonna need to get my people in here soon."
Is this guy blind?
Not
Make
kobold.
I'll say is that Fleep?
Yes, that was me.
On your turn, you can make an insight check, and
Is
I'll
it-
try to resolve that.
Cool.
Speaking common.
Is the dragon speaking common? Yes, it is. Cool. Is that the end of your turn, Caesar?
Yes.
Cool. Next up
Wait,
is.
you just make one attack.
Do you have more attacks you can make, Caesar?
I have more attacks. Like, I guess I should then, shouldn't I?
I mean, it's up to you,
Depends what
really.
you're trying to do.
I mean, that was cool. No, I'm gonna leave it as that.
That was cool. I'm gonna leave it.
I'm gonna play it efficiently because that thematically
to be
was
fair,
cool.
to be fair, you can like hit its head on the way down. That puts its head to the floor. You kind of roll off and just do a side swipe and swipe it again with second time.
I mean,
You
sure.
you can describe a way to get your second hit.
You
if
can do both your
wanted.
attacks as part of the same drop. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll attack it again then
Go for it.
with the ladder.
A natural 1. Okay, roll a d20 for me.
He shouldn't have attacked. No, of course he should. Of course he should.
Okay, with a 2, the strain of your body trying to like twist itself in midair to operate this adamantine step ladder
Heavier hammer, a ladder.
is too much for you, and suddenly on the way down you shit yourself.
Okay, I wasn't expecting that result.
Oh no.
But
Oh,
your
no,
loin-
you-
He's only wearing a loincloth.
yeah, your loincloth has
no.
seen worse, so you feel as though this is a small price to pay for the maneuver.
I pat myself down, knowing this is going to be a good fight if it's made me shit myself in the first few seconds. Like, take that
Okay.
as a boon.
Okay, so Guy Fiery walks up beside Jex on his turn and looks sort of like quizzically for hand signals or more chicken wings.
And I go like an unleash hand signal.
Okay.
Or I
cool.
just, he can do what he wants. He can. I don't have more chicken wings, but I'll be rooting around in my pockets for one.
Okay, he's just gonna jump down, filled with spicy rage, and he's gonna make an acrobatics check to see how well he handles that jump. So that's a dexterity check. Okay, with a 6, he lands quite awkwardly and ungracefully, taking 8 bludgeoning damage. But he is tough. So, okay, let me fix this. So he looks kind of a bit dazed on the ground, but he gets up and charges into battle, flailing his scimitar in a quite irresponsible manner. So we shall see what he does. With a 10, he just sort of does not give the correct amount of force to get through this dragon's hide, but he strikes again with a natural 20,
Oh, God.
driven by the inspiration
20.
of K and spices. He delivers 9 slashing damage. Nice.
That's our boy.
What are you? You're not a kobold either. You look like you need to be crushed. And you see this dragon just starts delivering as many one-liners as he can think of, what she can think of. Next up is Scrammel.
Oh, you're a girl dragon.
He's a fire newt. Where do I need to be standing to flank this dude? Is it around this dragon? Is it around the back?
Yeah, you'd have to climb up the pile of gold and stand on the back.
Sorry?
But you'd have to climb up the pile of gold, and it is like a
Oh.
fairly treacherous-looking climb.
Okay. Rats. How do I fabricate advantage out of this?
Not rats, Mike.
Oh no, wait! I don't need advantage because an enemy is within 5 feet of it.
You don't need advantage to get a sneak attack. That's right.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I won't worry about it then. Oh, sure. I'll be like, he's a fire newt as I like run up over.
I think
run
you're
up.
also still hidden. Oh no, you rolled a natural 1. Okay.
No, I
You-
cocked
that's
up
what-
the
he was
spell check.
literally
His stealth
spotted.
result was the reason this started.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So what's your
Yep.
attack?
Yes. 20.
Ooh, okay.
Not
That hits.
Fabricated 20.
Roll damage.
And I click there, don't I? And I get my sneak attack bonus because there's someone next to it. There's an enemy next to it.
Mm-hmm.
Artificial 20.
So that's
21 damage.
21 damage. Nice.
And then I'd like to use my cunning act. Can I Scrooge McDuck try and hide in this pile of gold?
It'd be very difficult. I'll say if you can make an athletics check to like heft all this heavy metal out of the way, then I'll let you make a stealth check.
I mean, sure. Athletics. Oh
Yeah.
no, my athletics is so poor.
Because it's more of like a physical strength thing, but rather than
How's 5? How's 5 for you?
you like flail helplessly on the edge of the gold, trying to
Digging
like
like a dog. You just start digging like a dog and making noise.
yeah, you start like scraping your fingers and bleeding a little bit, and you struggle greatly.
All right. Instead, I pocket some gold.
Okay, sweet.
So
I'll
I
say-
do need to press that.
Not a lot, obviously, because this is in like no time at all.
I'll say, roll a d8 for me. That's how many gold you pocket.
Ah, beautiful.
Flebe is at the back just chomping on spiders.
5.
Okay, you've got 5 gold pieces. All right.
Nice.
Next up is Cinderlore. And then she says, "You have ignored the bureaucracy of my chamber, and you shall be roasted as a result."
What
And-
bureaucracy? I don't know what that is.
She turns to Scramble and says, "You're small."
And?
Cool.
She's
So,
massive.
Basically, that's gonna get 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Okay.
Scramble
so
isn't offended by
She
height.
says to Caesar, "You're fat."
so Jex and
That's my other character that's offended by height.
Oh, she's going for me.
Jex and Guy Fieri and Caesar all need to make dexterity saving throws.
Ooh,
That looks like a
big
cone.
bust. All right, dex save. 13.
Okay.
Is this a blast of fire?
Yes, it is.
Does Guy need to make it then?
He does, but it makes no difference because he's immune to
Yeah.
fire.
Does he even try to dodge is the question.
No, he just stands there looking sort of, what's that word? Like wide-eyed with rage. Okay, so, oh, goodness me. All right, so that's going to be 16d6.
Oh my god.
So roll
What?
16d6. I hope this
Maybe
works.
running was the right decision.
This works. Slash
Need the
roll.
forward slash, yeah.
16d6.
Oh, I hope this doesn't take me down.
Okay.
I'm on 3.
That is 50 fire damage to
yeah.
both
Quite
Caesar.
sizzly.
How much?
Not down
oh
though.
my gosh, you're on 7 HP. Holy shit!
I'm on 3.
Okay.
Run, flee!
You see the dragon sort of looks almost perplexed. "You're not crispy," and that seems to be the end of its slogan. And it is now Jax's turn.
Okay, I'm gonna say, "Oh, great dragon! As is tradition, we are new warriors. You have shown us your strength, and we have shown you ours. Sorry, we have shown you our strength. Now, and I'm gonna cast suggestion.
Okay.
Now you must show us yours. Fly to the other peak of flame, around it and back."
Actually, before as a side thing, by the way, Caesar, you take 15 less damage.
Nice.
Why?
Is that within
Oh, your
30
magic
feet?
ward.
5, 10,
Uh,
20. Oh, it's just within 30 feet.
Paul,
That's lucky.
protect the healer.
You're literally closer to me. I can physically get to you, and I can't physically get to.
Okay. So it's
okay.
15 less damage, 22.
So I'm suggesting that this dragon goes to basically flies up to there's 2 peaks on this mountain range, right? And one is where we were before.
I mean, you haven't seen. Oh, you mean from the map? Like when did you get
Yeah,
a look
from
at
the map.
peaks? Okay. I will
When we
say,
flew over here. Is this
let
a
me-
big? It's because the place was called the Peaks of Flame, so I didn't know if there was another one.
Oh, gotcha. There are multiple peaks. So yeah, it's a
Okay,
thing. It's a thing that rings true.
I'm suggesting that she prove her strength by basically flying a good distance away, like grabbing a dinosaur or something and bringing it back here to prove her strength.
So what kind of save is this?
Gullibility.
Wisdom, I think.
Wisdom. Oh, is it? I can't see.
Suggestion.
Oh, wisdom saving throw. Oh gosh, I really hope this goes well for
Yeah,
you guys.
wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Oh gosh, what's the DC? I can't deal with it.
14 for me.
14. Oh goodness. Oh, with the 14, she saves. Oh goodness, and she says, "That is not the tradition. Where are your capes? Where are your masks? This is not how it is done."
Okay, I'm gonna go over here, stand behind this rock, and grab a mask,
Okay, you grab a mask. We'll see how that resolves. Is that the end of your turn?
and be behind the rock, so that in case she blasts me with fire again.
Okay, sweet. Is that the end of your turn?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it's pretty. Yeah, I'll spend a bonus action like putting on a mask or something.
Okay,
If
sweet. You're wearing the wooden mask. Professor Flea, make an insight check for me.
Will do if I can get my character sheet out again. Insight. There we go.
You were saying like, is the dragon blind or something because of something?
Yes.
It said. What did it say?
Yes. It was effectively confused. It couldn't tell we weren't kobolds.
Oh yes. Okay. With an 8, you don't gather much other than presumably based on the number of bones outside. You get the sense that she doesn't leave this chamber very often, and that's the end of what you observe. What would you like to do?
Well, given the gift clue in the mouth, I also grab a cloak and mask. Can I quickly determine if it's magical? Actually, no, I probably can't because detect magic's an actual thing in this game, isn't it?
I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah. That's gonna take more time than you probably want to spend.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just gonna grab the mask, grab a cloak, put it on, and oh god, I just saw someone get fried, didn't I? And I don't have my absorb energy spell. Oh well, hello, all great one, mighty red dragon of the big pile of gold.
I'm convinced.
So, are you wearing a mask at this time?
Yes.
Okay, so that's your sentence. It sounds like the first half of a sentence. Is there a second half?
We have come here, searching to meet you, to ask of you, what can we do for your service?
Okay, all right. I think that's going to be a deception check. And I'll say you get to roll...
That's very reasonable.
You get to roll with advantage.
Good luck.
Of the big pile of gold.
The reason is that basically she hasn't seen Professor Flea yet, so this is because he was like hanging out in the corridor. Okay, so that's a deception of 19. Okay, just let me double check the criteria here. And blah blah blah. All right, so okay, sweet. So then she's gonna make a wisdom perception check to see if she can see through your ruse or not. Ooh, goodness me. 17!
Oh, fuck.
A 17! Okay, she says, "Yes, this is more like it. What have you brought for me today, my subject?"
Oh, it's a good question. I have this... Well... We killed some dwarves. They had this adamantium sword.
1 second. What were you saying, Jax? Just so that we can...
like, Scrammle's the only one with any chicken wings stashed, presumably.
Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Can you repeat what you said, please, Fleeb?
I have an adamantium sword.
Oh, okay. And you sort of offer it?
Yes.
Ah, okay.
I've literally seen death flash before my eyes. There's 2 characters would literally have taken a hit which would legitimately have killed me in one shot straight.
Would have knocked me down immediately as well. Not killed me, but...
but you have better dodge than I do.
True. It still would have not... If I hadn't...
Yeah.
It could have knocked me down instantly, though.
Okay, she says... "Ah, yes, this looks very interesting. Throw it here. I want it for the pile." Okay.
I am not very strong, your highness liege, fiery god person. But I still try to lob the sword, but it's probably more of like an underarm thunk.
I'll say, it's 20 feet. I'm sure even your frail bones could throw it that far. And she sort of
Sword's pretty heavy.
How accurately?
well, it's a short sword. Like it's not a set of armor.
Like you swing it like a cricket bat.
Okay, just for fun then, let's say give me an athletics check, but the DC is not particularly high. I mean, you're a hero of some repute.
Something. Guys, that one.
It's just a 1.
Yeah, it's not a natural one. So I'll say you manage to throw it 10 feet, and she says, yes, you were right about your lack of strength there, but this is a sufficient offering. Tell your, I don't know what these are, minions, to leave me in peace. I must examine this new prize.
Of course. Foul beasts that are under my command, you shall leave this place immediately.
What did you call me?
A foul beast, are you deaf?
It's just behind, like next to her, not even hidden, just taking gold from the pile.
Okay, cool. So if that's the case, what do the rest of you do? Like, are we going to continue through the order, or do you all do something simultaneously?
I'm fine to back out of here in my robe and mask.
Actually, I suppose I'll give you...
shitty pants and also is slightly sizzled, so he's gonna waddle the best he can back up.
That's 25 feet. You probably have to make a check, or you could probably clearly see the exit on the other side.
Yeah.
Spider climb should also still
He's
be
still
there.
got spider climb.
Oh, sorry, I forgot about that.
I haven't been attacked and I haven't had my concentration broken.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Are we
Okay.
still in
So I'll
initiative? Because I can also at the window.
I'll just step out and bow and be like, "Thank you, your terribleness, for testing us with your flames."
Nice. Do you give the guy Fiery any signals?
Yeah. I'm gonna like just nod my head at him and like point the way out as we turn to walk out.
Okay, sweet. So he walks off.
Bear turns around and Team America secret signals his way out of the exit.
I walk really fast backwards, like stumbling over.
Okay, sweet. What does Scramble do?
I take a really deep bow and I'm like, I'm terribly sorry, your hotness. And as I take my deep bow, I like to roll sleight of hand to pull for a couple more gold coins.
Oh no. Okay, roll a sleight of hand check.
Just out of character, Eddie. If this kills you, we're not coming back for you.
You are dead.
I'm expecting like 3 coins. I'm not aiming for a lot here. And if she spots me, I'll just like
Die.
I'll give her the coins that I've already nicked back.
He's eating shit.
As a tribute.
You are just
It's
gonna
fine.
Oh,
shit.
gosh. Oh gosh.
You are gonna so eat shit.
Okay, you see her turn to you and see what you're doing, and as you're walking away, she says, "You foul beast! This is not the way that it is done." And she tries to bite you. With a 27, you take 23 piercing damage and 2 fire damage.
I drop all of the coins that I've taken and I'm like, oh, it was an accident, as I run away. I take a lot of fucking damage. I drop even the 5 coins that she hadn't seen me nick. I just drop a lot.
Okay, you see that she sort of like takes a half-hearted bite at you as she's going over towards the sword and like eyeing it up with her talons. And
we'll take that. Was it 25?
And as you will presumably, make sure you mark that damage. That was quite a bite. As you all leave this chamber, presumably, you hear in the distance her voice being like, shiny. Oh, different color. This will go nicely at the bottom of the pile. And that is where we will end our session. Holy crap. Holy crap.
Oh my god, it hit the 2 party members with more than 50 hit points.
Wow.
Did you hear that? Bottom of the pile, boys. Scramble's got some ideas.
Also, you guys all level up to level 7, I think, now.
Oh. That gives me
Nice.
quite a few things to do.
Ooh,
Level
level
6 was
7.
straightforward. Level 7
I
is not
legitimately don't.
straightforward.
Oh, I've got spells. That means I need to look up.
Are we just like hopping back in the carts and taking a rest and running back?
I think we're possibly going back a bit further than that, but nonetheless.
Yeah. I mean running as in like just going back to the forge.
But we'll definitely go into the tunnel somewhere, and like I'll put a hut up.
Yeah.
But
And we'll
yes.
we're leveling up between stuff, so cool.